Hello, 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 and welcome to the Relevant Development Podcast. I am your host, Juan Alvarado. Another live version of the podcast, not created in, um, not created behind the scenes and then pre-recorded and uploaded. We're doing this live, going live on LinkedIn and going live on YouTube. Would love to have some interaction with you guys as you guys come on, but I did the podcast yesterday, and when I did it yesterday, I wanted to do 3 tips, right? And so just to go over that really quickly, um, well, basically what it was I'll go over those 3 tips, but it was like, don't miss out on these 3 steps on how to build better goals when you're creating goals, either in your personal life or in your workplace. And as I was going through the steps, I had what I'm going to do today. One of the 3 steps teed up, but as I was dialoguing through, I thought of another step. So it's actually 4, but I did just a 3. But there's going to be an added bonus. So if you were with me yesterday, awesome. We're going to add to what we did yesterday. If you missed that episode, go back and listen to it. But I'm going to give you a brief overview on what that is. So let's see. So the first thing that we went over is it a goal or is it the result of a goal? When we set goals, sometimes we set goals, again, lose 10 pounds, go running, have a better relationship, whatever. That is the result of a goal. It's not the real goal. Going to the gym today is the goal. Eating this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is the goal. Once you do that, you check the box. Good job. The issue and the problem that people have when they don't set correct goals is they lose focus, they lose their motivation, they lose their determination because the goal is too far ahead. It's so far away and I don't feel victory today. But if we create these micro goals of go to the gym today, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour of exercise A, B, C, and D, boom, I did it. I feel good. Good job. Done. If I do that today, tomorrow, and for the next 45, 60 days, I've accomplished 60 goals. And then that losing that 10 pounds comes to me. If I read those 4 or 5 pages every single day, 2, 3, 4 books are done. Now I turn on the switch of love of reading, learning, things like that. Have a better relationship. I want to have a meaningful conversation with somebody in my family every single day, whether it's a minute or 2 or 5. If I do that every day, then I start to have those meaningful relationships. That result then comes to me. So are you creating a goal or is it the result of a goal? Next was start at the end and then work your way backwards and then backwards forwards. Who do I want to have a better relationship with? My wife. Cool. So then where do I have those conversations? Where's the place that I'm going to have those conversations? What does it look like? What does it sound like? And then work your way backwards. Do I want to communicate a hurt? Do I want to communicate love, affection, whatever that is? Work your way backwards and forwards. Again, going to the gym. Where am I going? Where am I going? What's the workout? What am I eating? Do I need to create a list, a grocery list? Do I need to go shopping? Then you work your way back forward. See if there's any gaps. Fill those gaps with steps that you know that you need to take, those micro steps. And those essentially are micro goals. Go to the grocery store. Boom, did it. Buy these 8 or 9 things. Boom, did it. I said that right now and it reminded me of The Office. Boom, roasted. So-and-so and so-and-so. Boom, roasted. Boom, did it. Done. And celebrate those micro goals. Because when you can feel achievement in micro doses, then you feel good about what you've done. And again, then that result of the goal comes to you. Next, we went over where are my opportunities and what will be the obstacles, and then come up with the solutions. What will be the solutions? Here are my opportunities to execute on my goal. What are going to be the problems? Think about that ahead of time and then come up with solutions ahead of time. So when it does smack you in the face, you punch it right back, right? So this next part, what I want to get into is what are your strengths? How do we move forward in our goal setting and even throughout the day? It's not just goals, right? So today, my son has a basketball game. My other son is going to stay at school until it's game time. He's going to watch the freshman game. I'll probably meet him at halftime. We'll watch the rest of the freshman game, watch a JV game, probably stay for the varsity game. Wifey's had a long, tough week, and my youngest son, he just lives day by he just lives day by day as it comes to him. Um, I already went to the gym, so I need to go to the gym. I need to eat my meals. I haven't eaten yet. I need to do that. Um, and I'm crunched for time. Like right now, it is 11 a.m. I have a interview for a podcast at 11:30, so I need to be done with this in 30 minutes. And then after that, I have an hour break, which I'm going to get my meal in. After that, I have a one-on-one coaching session with a manager from a local school district. Excuse me. And so I had to figure out what are my strengths. So I want to show you something. If you guys aren't familiar, I am a Gallup certified strengths coach. And just to let you guys know, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's my LinkedIn, RTB-Juan, Juan. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, there it is, Instagram at Raize the Bar CEO. So what are your strengths? What are your strengths? So I want to bring this up, bring this on stage, make this a little bit bigger. And I understand that if you're watching this visually, it is my face is covered. Maybe I can remove myself from here. I don't know if I'm able to do that or not. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, let's do it this way. Cool, this works. I think let's just do it this way so you can see both of us. So we have executing strengths, we have influencing strengths, we have relationship building strengths, and we have strategic thinking strengths. So my strengths look a little bit different than the next strengths. So when we talk about executing our day, when we talk about creating goals, when we talk about things, this one step is going to help pole vault yourself to the next level when it comes to doing your getting to your strengths. So I have a strategic thinking strength. This first one, strategic thinking. That's my first one. Then I have a responsibility, which is I believe it's an executing strength. Can I bring this all the way over? Cool. Responsibility. It's an executing strength. Then I have activator. Excuse me. I have relator. Then I have activator, and then I have achiever. So I have pretty much one in each category, and it helps me and it helps me be me. Like these are my naturally given strengths. So just to go over this real quick, people with the executing strengths, um, they know how to make things happen. They execute, right? Influencing strengths, people with dominant influencing themes know how to take charge and speak up and make sure that the team is heard. People with relationship building strengths have the ability to build strong relationships that can hold them together and make the team greater than the sum of their parts. Strategic thinking themes, people with these themes help teams consider what could be. They absorb and analyze information that can inform better decisions. So let me just show you this next part. These are my strengths. This is what the full 34 report looks like. And if you get just your top 5, all you will see are these top 5. So strategic, responsibility, relator, achiever, activator. Those are my strengths. I also have and utilize my top 10. Number 6 is adaptability, 7 developer, 8 arranger, 9 significance, 10 command. If you're like, what the hell is Juan talking about? And you're on Apple or Spotify, and you're listening to this in your car, in your ears, on the go, Gallup Strengths Finder. I will put the link in it on the description, and I'll bring it up on screen if you're watching this on YouTube or on LinkedIn. But these are my strengths, and I utilize my top 5 nearly every single day. 6 through 10, I utilize 2. This is how I explain it. Your 1 through 5 is like your Batman. Your 6 through 10 is like your Robin. Sometimes Batman can do it by himself. Sometimes he needs Robin. Sometimes there's other things where Robin can take care of, and there's no need for Batman, right? So these are my strengths that I utilize. We're not going to get into how come you don't use or what about 11 through 34. We're not going to go into that right now. Too long of a podcast to do that. But these are my strengths. And on screen, you can tell what strategic means for me. Here's the cool thing about strengths is, yes, you have the DISC assessment. You have the colors, and you have the Enneagram and all this other stuff. Here's my beef with those. I think DISC assessment is probably the next best assessment. I'm biased if I'm being completely honest. I've done the DISC assessment. I liked it. I just like Strengths Finders more. All those other enneagrams and I'm this number and I'm this color and this is my love language and all this other stuff. Those are cool, especially the love languages. I love those. But all these things are pretty much the same. However, some go a little bit more in depth. This is what I like about Strengths Finder. I can have like my wife and I both have relator in our strengths. The way relator shows up with her is completely different than how relator shows up in me. So when I use my relator, it's deep, meaningful relationships, but I want to help out other people. I utilize it a lot with strategic. So when people have issues and problems, I want to solve their problems. Typical guy, right? So I use my strategic thinking and my responsibility like, hey, this is my job. There's a reason why this person came to me. Let me work on this relationship and give them my advice because I think using strategic, right? If I bring this back up, strategic says, uh, for me, it says you can express your ideas and feelings with great ease. You typically rely on words or phrases your teammates readily understand. This is why when I do training or I do speaking engagements, people are like, "Oh my gosh, Juan, you really uh, you really speak." You really spoke to my heart, and you used analogies that I can really vibe with. Like it's very relatable. Here you go. These are my strengths. Let me read one more to you. Like a detective, you might sort through. Well, let me go back. You try to uncover facts. Perhaps you are not intimidated by overwhelming amounts of information. Like a detective, you might sort through it, attempting to identify pieces of evidence. Following a few leads, you might begin to see the big picture. Maybe you generate schemes for solving the problem. Hello. You might choose the best option after considering some of the prevailing circumstances above resources or desired outcomes. Let me just talk to you real quick about this. Just the other day, I was out without a car. My car was in the shop, and my wife took our other car, and so I needed one to drop off my boys from school and pick up my car from the shop. So my dad decides to drive us. He didn't decide. I asked. He said yes. And both of my boys said, "Dad, are you going to drive?" And I said, "Why?" Because Grandpa drives so slow. So I asked my dad, "Do you know how to get there?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Which way are you going to go?" Because I wanted his input, because if he's gonna go the same way that I go, there's no need to give him this strategy behind going. He's like, "Oh, I usually go this way, sometimes I go this way." I said, "This is the way I want you to go. Turn here, go here, go here." And the very first step, he didn't go the street that we went to, and that put us a minute behind. It was foggy. I knew that this is the best way because there are timed lights and the lights are the easiest way to go. Going his way, the way that he went, you have to blindly go in and cross a busy intersection that doesn't have a light. Like the busy intersection has the right of way and it's foggy. So you're constantly looking left, looking right to see if you can cut across, and it is a gamble. It's like Russian roulette out there because it's foggy, you can't see. I already thought about this ahead of time. Then you have to get to this light that takes forever because you have to then cross that light, and that light has main traffic that flows like crazy. So now we have to wait for that light to turn it. It all is timing. Get in this lane because everyone makes a right on this lane and this lane gets congested. I've done this route inside and out. I've taken the 4 different ways to my boys' school and I know the fastest route. I don't care what time of day it is. I know which route to take. This is my strategic thinking at work. And if you look back at what it says on here, it's just crazy that it talks about I see the big picture, I generate schemes for solving the problems, I choose the best options after considering some prevailing circumstances, available resources, or desired outcomes. Like this is what I love about this. The way my strategic thinking works is different than somebody else's. And this is why this is so important. Again, with my relator, I want to solve problems and have conversations with people, hear them out, learn from them, things like that. My wife has relator, and my wife's strength. Let me see if I can pull this up. Maybe not. Cool. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. Okay, cool. So my my relator strength is different than my wife's relator strength. strength. My wife's relator strength, um, she also has empathy and developer. She wants to build that relationship and listen to you, and she will mourn with you. She will feel your hurt. She's very empathetic. She is there to listen to you, comfort you, and help you along the way with whatever you need. With me, it's like, all right, bro, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do this, 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 and this. Or I'm like, why did that happen? They're feeling this way because they didn't do this, they didn't do that, which is why I do what I do with leadership and personal development, because it fits me the best, because this is my strength, right? My wife's relator is different than mine, and she can help people completely differently than I can, which is why it makes her great. This is going back to the whole strengths thing, versus the disc assessment or the Enneagram and stuff. It's basically saying this: hey, you're a guy. Juan, you're a guy. You were both in the military. Cool. This is how you are going to take care of this issue and problem, because you're both guys and because you're both in the military. Oh, you're both women and you both work in customer service and you both had this type of upbringing. Oh, this is how you're going to handle things. It puts people in a box. What is crazy, if you know anybody that has taken strengths, or you have strengths yourself, you should already know this. If you have never taken strengths, the crazy thing is, again, these things of how my strategic strength works, or my responsibility, or in this other slide, adaptability, it is going to read completely different than somebody else who has strategic thinking, relator, adaptability, whatever it is. They will have completely different strengths. Sorry, I'm bringing all this other stuff up. Not needed. So the way my adaptability is completely different from somebody else's. That makes you unique. Out of all the strengths, out of all the people who have taken strengths, the likelihood of you having the same top 5 in the same order is 1 in 33 million. And I think it's a little bit more now, which is crazy. So strengths are huge. So let's get into this real quick. So this is what I want us to do. We're going to filter my goals through my strengths. So I was talking about, I want to read the Bible more, right? So sorry, let me bring this back up. So when I utilize this strategic, if you listen to the podcast from last week or yesterday, I talked about these are your opportunities. It's in the directions that I've given you. Work from the back, work from the end, go backwards, work to the start, and then work back to the back end, right? Start at the end and work backwards and then go back. Where are your opportunities? What are the problems? What are the opportunities? And solve it, right? That's my strategic. So when I utilize my strengths in my goals, I say, okay, I want to read. Where are my opportunities? What are my obstacles? This is my strategic thinking at work. This is that strength at work. Here's my issues. This is my problems. This is how I'm going to solve it. Strategic. Responsibility. I have to put it on my shoulder. This is my responsibility to read. Or with my boys going to the game, the basketball game, it just this is funny, because if you listen to the beginning of this podcast all over again, you can hear strategic in my words. My son has a basketball game. My other son is going to stay there, and he's going to have to be there for a while. And we'll probably watch half of the freshman game, then junior varsity, and then the varsity game. In that conversation with you, I am going through my strategic strengths, that natural ability, that natural strength, which is my number one. You heard in the beginning of this episode and the last episode, which is crazy, right? Responsibility. It is my job to make sure that I'm in the right places at the right time. I need to do this podcast between 11 and 11:30 because I have something else. Like, I'm putting it on my shoulders. This is my responsibility. I need to get this done. Relator. I'm going to be there for my son. Look, I'll show you this. I'm sorry I'm getting so excited about this stuff, but no, I'm not. I'm not sorry. Check out this text that I sent my son. And I know you can't really see this. And those of you that are everywhere else, you're not gonna be able to see this. Let's remove this. this text message here, and I don't know if you can see that, but basically, I said to my son Levi, let's get locked in today. Just because it's this other school, stay vigilant, stay tough, and play to play. Don't try to do so much because you think this game is going to be easy because the other team is not that good and they've beat them and blown them out of the water before. I said basic fundamentals is always the win. The game, it's game day. Let's act like it, and that starts now. He said, "Thanks, Dad. Yes, sir. I love you." I said, "I love you too, mijo." And this is my relator. It's my strategic. Hey, lock in. Don't think about this. It's my responsibility as a dad to give my son some motivation and words of encouragement and a game plan. And then the relator piece of, hey, I'm here with you. Let's get locked in. I love you. I love you too, mijo. That's the relator piece. Let's add this back in here. And then you have achiever. Achiever basically says, I'm going to work hard. Went to the gym, took care of my dog, communicated with my sisters, took a shower, doing the podcast, gonna do the other podcast with, and I just got a reminder that I have 10 minutes. And then I do a coaching session. I'm gonna like, let's get work done. When there's things not on my to-do list, I make a to-do list. Let's go shopping, let's clean up, let's do this, move the furniture around. Like, I need to stay busy. That's achiever. Activator means let's do this stuff now. I could have waited for the text message to my son. It was at 9:41 in the morning. I could have waited right before game time, but I wanted him to see it now. Let's do it now. Ooh, the idea to build a relationship with my son, said, I can do it somewhere. No, do it now. Let's do it now. The podcast. Dude, you only have 30 minutes. Do it now. The gym, I'm up. Let's go. Let's do it now. So those are my strengths. So when I'm going into my goals, I want to read my Bible more. That was my thing. And the miracle morning. I have the plan. The responsibility piece and the related piece for me goes hand in hand. I want to read more. I want to become more wise, not for me, but for the people that I'm going to come in contact with. My wife, my kids, on stage, at school districts, with this coaching session that I'm going to have today. That is my responsibility. People are leaning in on me so I can be the best that I could be. So if I have to stay up late or get up early and work, achiever, I'm going to do it. And when I have the opportunity, I'm going to do it now. Activator. So I had another friend who has their strengths, and I don't know if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this in time. And I had their strengths, so I want to do this real quick, real time. I hope this stuff is making sense because having your strengths and filtering through your strengths is huge. Um, come on, strengths. Let's see. Just to let you know, there's also strengths for kids as well, and I'll see if I have time to get into that. This is, let's remove this, bring me in. Let's add this to the stage. And so here's somebody else's strengths. And just so you know that it's here, it's different than mine. I'm going to pull this off just for privacy purposes. I should have thought that through. And let me see how I can do this again. Sorry for y'all. We're going to edit this out on the live one. Excuse me. We're going to edit this out so we can get this done correctly when we put this live. Downloads. I just wanted to show y'all that this is somebody else's and not just mine. Where did I just pull this from? Sorry, y'all. I had this. Let me just bring it up. Sorry, Alicia. Okay, so if it was the same strengths, if it was the same goals, she has learner, deliberative, individualization, responsibility, and input. Learner, they love to learn. So reading is going to be easy. Deliberative. I'm going to figure out which book I want to read for a certain reason. Like deliberative, I talk about as a sniper. Like when I take my shot, it's going to be the right one, only one, and it's going to be the best time, right? So if I'm going to read a book, it's going to be the right book. It's going to be at the right time. They're really going to be deliberate, right, in their execution. Individualization. They probably won't use that strength when they do this. Responsibility. Hey, it's again responsibility in. I'm going to read this book for this reason because it's going to help somebody else out, whatever they feel quote unquote responsible for. And then input. Maybe it's going to help them to journal and then talk about what they are reading. If they wanted to lose weight, if they wanted to do, revamp a house and remodel it, they were going to utilize their strengths differently than what I would use. So, strengths is a huge thing for you guys to use when you filter. It's going to help you with your strengths level up your execution. So if you're ever interested in wanting to doing this, you can go to store.gallup.com. You will go to everything that they sell. You click on strengths and look at their different strengths. They have strengths for managers, strengths for leaders, strengths for kids or youth, and then they have your top 5, your full 34. Oh my gosh, Juan, that's a lot of information. I know. Do your own research. However, the cheapest one I think is $19.99. I don't get an affiliate. There's not an affiliate link. I wish there was, but there's not. You can pay for your top 5, where all you're going to get is your top 5. You get your full 34. You get your full 34 report. If you're a leader or a manager, you can get those. I believe you get your top 10, and it just breaks it down a certain way for you. So that's it. That's the show in wanting to help y'all out in how do you level up your goal setting with this one big missing piece is utilize your strengths. If you want to find your strengths, go ahead and go to Gallup. You can go to gallup.com or store.gallup.com. Here's the last thing that I'll leave you with. If you want to level up your leadership, strengths is going to help you out tremendously. But if you need help in that, DM me the word or comment the word leadership, and I will help you create a leadership growth plan, whether it's with strengths or not. If you take your strengths assessment and you're like, Juan, how do I go through this? How do I read this? How do I apply it to myself? I'm a certified coach. I can help you with that. But let's say you say, hey, I want to do strengths. I'm not in a leadership position. Then go ahead and DM me or comment the word 2024 if you want help in your personal development, moving forward, goal setting, better mindset, things like that. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're like, I need something different. Let this be the different thing that you do this year. DM me 2024 if you want to help with the personal development side or leadership for the leadership side. And either one, I will help you with your strengths. But that is it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. There is that. Don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn. If you want to get to the next level, you have to pull yourself up to the next level. It's going to be hard, but you can't do that unless you raise that bar. Thank you so much. I got to go to this coaching session, and I will talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for being here today. Love y'all. We will see you on the next episode.